This is Trevor Sternad from the Black Dahlia Murder here, and you're listening to the Everblack Podcast.
Hey, humans, Carl, this is Odorous from Guam.
I'm going to the Fear Factory.
This is George Corsh Under Fisher.
This is Jazz from Double Drop.
This is Wade from Our Last Enemy.
Magnificent Suicide Tendencies.
Hey, this is Wednesday 13. This is Rex from Kill Devil Hill.
This is Gary Lee from Sepultura, and you're listening to Everblack Podcast.
Before we go into this episode of the Everblack Podcast, we just need to give a shout out to our show supporters, the occult clothing brand Electric Witch, who have amazing apparel from shirts to hoodies to hats to beanies, dresses and more. Check out their full range at electricwitch.com.au and put in the code Everblack for 20% off your order. Also, don't forget to subscribe, rate and review the Everblack Podcast on Spotify and iTunes podcast streams, and see all our video interviews on the Everblack YouTube channel. You can also read all our articles and reviews at everblack.com.au. All right, on with the show. Jimmy, my name's Nev. Thanks for joining us on the show, brother. How's everything going over in your part of the world?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, just, busy and trying to stay positive, in my quarantine world. But yeah, things are good. I mean, probably about the same as they are any place else in the world.
It's been a absolutely crazy year, man. But everyone's all right. You doing okay, though? I mean...
Yeah, we've just been taking the time to try to work. We never really get, this kind of a block of time kind of handed to us. So, we've been pretty busy. I mean, with the CYR record last year and then coming out this year, Billy and I have been working on a lot of new music. Just demoed drums on 33 new songs for the follow-up to Mellon Collie Machina. So working on that, just working on arrangements every day. We just kind of put that to bed, and we're gonna revisit it here in a little bit. We started remixing Machina today. We started remixing Machina today for the box set, and then we also recorded a 13-song, I guess, kind of psychedelic record that we kind of had laying around. So we just found ourselves with this extra time and this kind of to-do list that we never thought we'd really get to. So it's been kind of cool. I mean, you kind of got to go, when you can't go outside, you got to go inside, right? So for us, just been trying to make the best of the time and be as productive as we can.
That's incredibly productive. I mean, a band of you know what I mean? It's sort of like, just, do you sleep? I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, I think we've gotten to the point where, at least, Kim and I mean, James is on the West Coast, so it creates a little bit of a boondoggle, but Billy and I are neighbors. So, it's easy I have a studio here. He has a studio, so it's easy for us to kind of work together. But we found we don't really work as much as we used to. We get more done somehow, but we don't really put in those long kind of 12, 14-hour days anymore. We're generally working from the earliest we generally start is like 11, and we'll work to maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock, but generally, probably 6 to 8 hours, which, may seem like a lot to some people, but for us, I mean, we were used to working, 6-7 days a week, 12 hours a day was kind of just the rigor, right? But I think we've just become more efficient at doing what we do.
Well, as you mentioned before, the new album, CYR? Is that how you... CYR, sorry, buddy.
Right.
That album is incredible. I mean, that comes out this week. And as a fan for like 25 years, Smashing Pumpkins has been my favorite band for 25 years. I love this album, dude. It's incredible. And it's seeing you guys push things into a fresh direction that I haven't seen you really go before. It's amazing. Did you feel that when you were going into making this one?
Yeah, we talked a lot about it. I mean, we thought, I wasn't really that interested in making another kind of syncopated guitar riff record, and neither was Billy. And we the Pumpkins has always been, our mission statement has always been to kind of try to win in a modern context, right? And not be kind of relegated to kind of doing what we've always done. And this is kind of the fun part of the band is, we're okay with kind of challenging ourselves to operate within a modern architecture. And that was really the kind of mission statement going forward, was really, can we make a modern rock record using modern modernized or modern components? Can we make a record without syncopated drums and riffy guitars and just more groove oriented, and have enough of the identity of the band left over for it to sound like a Smashing Pumpkins record, right? So, we talked a lot about that, and it took a little bit longer with CYR to kind of come into, where we felt comfortable with the instrumentation, doing sound supplementation on the drums. There was a bit of head scratching here and there, but once, and with us, it's really about establishing a language or relanguaging. The emotions are always kind of similar, but how are you going to tell the story, the non-Aesop's fable version of that story to somebody in 2020? You're looking at it completely differently. So, that was once we started to wrap our heads around, okay, we don't really get anything from old convention. Let's really start to look at things that are at least unique to us and new and unique to us. So, and in doing that, can we develop an inner language that is still defines the band? So it was, a lot of 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Some songs like Ramona, for instance, was a song that took a long time to do because our instincts were just to play it as a rock band, right? A rock quartet. And the first couple versions we did was like you would imagine it sounding if the record had come out several years ago. But it's just when we put it up against like Color of Love and those other songs that we were really kind of on about, we knew it was a great song, but the way that we were approaching it was just kind of off. So that song went through, I think, at least 4 different permutations before it really fit on the record. And then, everybody loved it, and still does. But yeah, so it was a journey, I think. And the new music we're making now is kind of, the defining thing about the Pumpkins was always this kind of wide parameter, right? Like we'd have songs like Jelly Belly and songs like Cupid de Lock and To Forgive and those types of songs. So when we started to talk about doing a follow-up to Mellon Collie and Machina, the first thing out of my mouth was like, it's got to be super wide. Like we got to go super wide, right? It's got to be speed metal and it's got to be like cocktail jazz. Like it's got to be that. It's got to be that wide because that's kind of what we do, right? So we're excited about that. We're really there's a lot of really cool stuff on what we're working on now. But yeah, I mean, it's just music, man.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Pumpkins. As you mentioned, you guys set the rule that there was no rules from the beginning, especially with Mellon Collie. I mean, it's such a broad spectrum where even to the point over the years where you've taken some of those songs, like even like Bullet and stuff, and you've done different versions live. And I can hear that you could do that with this album as well. So you haven't pigeonholed yourself. There's so many different things that you guys could do within your sound because you didn't set the rule. Like you just went, no, we're doing our own thing. So that's the thing that's been special about the band, I think.
Well, I think, we're selfishly kind of attracted to what we're attracted to, right? And we're always at least attempting to move towards what's exciting for us. And so if things are exciting, it informs your choices. You don't feel like you're faking it, or you're not like, okay, I know how to like, I've recorded, hundreds and hundreds of songs. So anything anybody throws at me, I've got my own personal reference point. Like, oh, I know how to play this song, or I know how to play a song like this, or I can play this song in 6/8, or whatever that may be. We don't want to be in that position where we're just kind of regurgitating stuff. We really want to be like I'm really exploring right now, like working with. I've got a new drum machine and just kind of playing over that and trying to amalgamate things that I couldn't do on my own and trying to reach into that area for some new inspiration. And those are the things that kind of keep it fun and interesting for us. Once it gets boring, like we don't want to just make, songs like Zero. I mean, songs like Zero are fun to play and they're great songs, but just a steady diet of that stuff is just not what we're about.
No, and you got to challenge yourself as well because first of all, you've got to be happy with the music before anyone else is, really. you know?
Well, 100%. I mean, and everybody knows, with my comings and goings in the band and those types of things, I mean, nobody in the band is going to stick around if they're not into it. I mean, everybody in the band has proven that they're, pretty autonomous when it comes to those types of things. So it's important for the alignment of the band to keep things interesting for everyone, and not just like, it's not just Billy's band, it's not just my band, it's not just James or Jeff or Jack's band. It's really about like having something on the table for everybody, and really, because we know, like, after 30 however many years it's been, that the power of the sum of the parts is so much bigger than any one person.
Yeah.
So
you're back.
Yeah, sorry, I'm running out of juice here.
That's all right, buddy. That's all right, man. But I mean, you guys have, what was I? I was going to say, of course, I mean, this year, Mellon Collie is turned 25. Machine is 20 years. I mean, that's 2 anniversaries in 1 year, and they're both very special albums to a lot of people, especially me. You mentioned, Zero and stuff before. Is there a song from each of those albums that you love playing live still, that you get excited about getting behind that kit and smashing out?
No. I mean, I don't mean that disrespectfully. I love playing. The songs that I love playing live are probably the ones that you would not expect me to play. Like, I like playing stuff from Adore.
Yeah.
I like playing on stuff that I didn't play on, like for Martha and Blank Page, and those types of songs are super fun for me, because I can, like, it's just something I don't have that much ownership over of. So it's like the stuff I have ownership over of, it's kind of, it's a different animal. I enjoy not having to beat Jimmy Chamberlin from time to time on stage, and being, the guys that perform those incredible songs. So yeah, that stuff is fun. Like the stuff that Tommy played on Monuments, that stuff, like One and All, we were doing that song for a while, which was super fun. I could pretend I was Tommy Lee, which I did as a kid, So, I mean, those things are cool. But yeah, I mean, from time to time, like United States, I mean, Ruby, those types of songs are always a journey. Soma, when we get that song right, it's pretty powerful. So yeah, I mean, but from night to night, I mean, it really is about, it's like, the Pumpkins are improvisational enough on stage to where I'm not playing the same thing every night. Corgan's not playing the same solo. We're moving songs around tempo wise. We're still jacking with the arrangements even now of old songs, which keeps it fun. So, and a lot of that stuff, a lot of that interplay is really predicated on kind of the emotional direction that the audience is giving to us, right? If the audience is really dour, then we love playing a super dark and just evil set. And if things are up, then we're good to stay up, but it's, it changes from night to night. Like Blue Skies Bring Tears, or those types of songs that are really slow and menacing. I mean, those are super fun to play.
I love to hear.
You can really, I mean, as a drummer, you have a lot of opportunities to make people feel really uncomfortable. So that's, something that I really enjoy doing.
Well, you mentioned the dark and menacing stuff. Have you guys thought of doing, like, even for a streaming or a live, where you do separate nights where you focus on, like, well, you could do a real heavy, brutal set of all the heavy stuff, and another night you can do all the synthy stuff, acoustic stuff, you know what I mean? And really hone in on those styles. Have you?
We've done that. We've done shows where we were kind of our own opening band. So we used to actually come out in our pajamas and play a full acoustic set for like 45 minutes before we would go and play as a rock band.
Yeah.
We were crazy. I mean, back then, I mean, we were just, like I said, that's all we did was play music, which is probably why, there was issues back then, because we weren't really taking care of ourselves. We were just kind of going for it. But yeah, I mean, we like to do all of that stuff in one night, right? Like you don't want to be like in a relationship and be like a jerk one night and then super nice the next night. You want to be like nice, and then maybe you're a little bit of a jerk.
Just a little.
but hopefully more nice than being a jerk.
Yes, yes, of course. That's all right.
Especially where my wife is concerned.
Yeah. Mine too, funny enough. She doesn't put up with any of my shit, that's for sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, I mean, in regards to the relationship of the band and everything like that, I mean, you guys have been working together for so many years. And I mean, even though you've been on and off with the band, you seem like you're in a really good place personally as friends at the moment, like stronger than ever. Would you say that, that's driving things forward a little bit more too?
I think so. Yeah. I think the band is really, in alignment, so to speak, personally and spiritually and musically. So, those things always help, because it's, with the Pumpkins, it's never about the music, right? It was never like me coming, going. It was never about the music. It was always mostly just about logistics, right? Like I had 2 kids. I didn't want to tour that much. There's things like that. Now everybody's got 2 kids. So everybody's got all the same damn problems. Everybody's got 2 kids that are eventually going to go to college. I mean, so, my daughter's 18. She's going to college next year. My son's 14. So I'm kind of already in the exit strategy. And Billy, he's just getting started. James has 2 little kids. So, I think that does a lot to create alignment in any organization.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And of course, touring at the moment isn't really happening, sadly. But in the new year, I mean, we haven't seen you guys in a little while, and I'm hanging to see you guys again. Has that been talked about? I mean, before all this went down?
Yeah. We're talking, 2021 is looking better and better. I mean, with the vaccine and, those types of things. I mean, we'll see. I don't see us really, really launching like a mega scale tour until things really normalize. I mean, I think next year sees us doing some festival stuff and maybe some soft ticket events, and maybe we get down to do some stuff your way. But we've been talking about doing this Mellon Collie tour, where we're gonna go out and do a show predicated on that era, right? Not just the record, but that era and what the band was really about. And that's a huge deal, right? With tons of investment from us, both time and financial. We've got to make sure that, things are cool. We're not going to get halfway down and then something else crazy is going to happen and we all go belly up. I mean, you've got to be smart about these things, especially economics wise today, just because the world is such, as demonstrated by the situation we're in right now, things can change pretty quickly. So we're just trying to be smart, being a little conservative right now. But yeah, I mean, I'm ready to go play. I mean, I got a new solo record out too, Jimmy Chamberlin Complex, which is, burning up the airwaves, as we say. And, I'm anxious to get out and play some of that stuff. So yeah, I'm working on a new record with this guy, Nick Reinhardt, who's great progressive jazz guitar player from California. So I got all kinds of stuff going on. I just, nobody knows it.
Well, I'm glad that I know now, because I love that new Jimmy Chamberlin Complex album, man. The EP you just dropped. Oh, dude, I've been jamming it at work. It's so good. And you know what I'd love to see is you come down maybe with that, or even just like a clinic, man. Just come and hang out, play some drums, show us how it's done.
Yeah, I love doing that stuff. I do quite a bit of it in the States. I mean, I just did Percussive Arts Society this time last year, but again, a lot of that stuff's just been put on hold. But yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to sponsor us to come down, I could, those guys, in the complex, they'll do anything, just a plate of spaghetti and they're good to go, man.
Man, I'll just back up all the money. I'll throw all the money, because I would love to see that. So
you could start a GoFundMe page or something.
That's a good idea. Don't get me started. I'll do it.
Hey, you never know.
Never know. But mate, it's been an absolute honor to have you on the show today, mate. As I said, I'm a big fan, and the new Smashing Pumpkins album comes out this Friday, and it's fantastic. I'll have all the links down here, as well as to the new EP that you just dropped, mate.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much, and you take care of yourself.
You too, man. Good talking to you.
You too, brother. See you soon.
All right, ciao.